Zach is back. It's the Zach Gelb Show on Fox Sports 920 The Jersey.
All right, welcome back in Football Friday. Big Football Friday show. Drew Bledsoe and Zach Zaidman joined us earlier in the show. And now coming up is our favorite Friday guest, always at 5:15, Mark Eckel from NJ.com to recap last week's big Eagles win over the Atlanta Falcons and also preview this big game coming up on Sunday, a litmus test game for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they'll be in Seattle to play the Seahawks, who to me are the best team in the NFC, even though the Cowboys have the best record. Mark, always great to talk to you. What's happening, pal?
I'm good, Zach. Thanks for calling me your favorite guest. I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, you know what? You always come on with us each and every week.
Well, you get a lot of good guests, though. I mean, you get a lot of good, I'm flattered.
Well, not a lot of people invite me to their book signings, and we have a nice, delicious Chickies and Pete's meal. So you won me over with some food. That's what does it.
There you go. I was told it wouldn't take a lot.
No, probably the next guest that comes on the show, if they give me a burger, then I'll probably be saying they're my favorite guest. All right, let's go on to this Eagles secondary because Jalen Mills has been very impressive. Last week got the action in the second half versus Julio Jones, one of the best wide receivers in the league, and only allowed him to have 37 yards in that second half when Mills was on him. How about Jalen Mills last week?
Yeah, played very well. The kid's pretty tough, I got to say. I mean, he still makes some rookie mistakes, which is, hey, listen, I'm not saying that in a derogatory way at all. I mean, he's a rookie, and rookie cornerbacks are they're not going to get the same call, or they're going to get called for things that in 3-4 years from now he can do the exact same thing and won't get called for it. You know what I'm saying? So he gets more pass interference penalties, defensive holding penalties than veterans because he's a rookie, and B, he doesn't know how to get away with it yet. So he will. But with all that said, I mean, for a 7th round pick, he's playing very well. He's playing very, very well.
No question he is. And that secondary, they've been a little bit of a surprise this year. I know Nolan Carroll's having an okay year. Leotis McKelvin's been up and down. But, the safeties, they've been really good, too, with McLeod and Jenkins. This secondary, a little bit better than I thought it would be.
Well, the safeties I thought would be what they are. I mean, I think they're good. I don't think they're as good as some people do, but I think they're good. They're certainly solid. No need to look for a safety in the draft or free agency. That's for sure. The corners, I didn't think were going to be very good. And let's be honest, Mills is playing. I mean, I didn't think McKelvin. I didn't think that was a great signing.
I agree.
And it wasn't. I mean, let's be honest. He's not. You say up and down. I'd say more down than up. Carroll's a good, good guy to have. More a 2 or 3 in a real good secondary. Mills has been the big surprise, as we just said. Ron Brooks is on IR now. That didn't wow me. I would still put cornerback as one of this team's top 2 or 3 needs, without a doubt, right?
No, yeah, I agree with you, but you just see some of the offenses that they've beat this year. Pittsburgh, when they were red hot rolling, and then it didn't get much hotter this year in the NFL than Atlanta. It's remarkable how they don't have that much talent, and you're right, they still have a need to fulfill those areas at cornerback, but they stopped 2 pretty darn good offenses this year, and it's amazing.
Give the defensive line. I mean,
yes, Fletcher Cox showed up last week.
I don't want to take away the corners, but the corners have played better when the line has played better.
Yes.
I mean, the Cowboys and Giants games, the secondary wasn't that great, right? I mean, especially the Cowboys at the end when they let them go 90 yards to tie it, and then they went right down the field in overtime. And Dak went 5 for 5. So I wasn't that, we weren't praising the secondary that night. And same against the Giants. I mean, Eli, until he threw that bad interception, was having a pretty good game against them. So, any secondary will look better when the pass rush is there, and any secondary will look worse when they have no pass rush. So it kind of, and also for this Eagles team, this Eagles defense is built on their front 4, and they will only be as good or not as good as the front 4 plays.
No, you're exactly right. And last week, I know he didn't get a sack, but Fletcher Cox, you saw him be disruptive in the middle. And also Brandon Graham. I don't have enough adjectives to continue to praise this guy. He's just been unbelievable this year.
He's been very good. It's funny. I just wrote a thing, just like random thoughts on the team, and I think Brandon Graham's playing very good. I'm not ready to put him in. See, maybe I guess I have, because of the players I've covered through the years. I mean, I covered Reggie White, so
doesn't get better than that. Yeah,
right, and that's always going to be my standard bearer. You know what I mean? Like that, and I know nobody can be Reggie again, but but I also covered Clyde Simmons and Hugh Douglas and William Fuller, even guys that Brandon Graham's having a very good and a surprisingly good year. This is his best year by far. He finally looks like the first round pick out of Michigan that the team thought he was when they traded up to take him in the first round. So good for him. And it's been a combination. Connor Barwin, who nobody talks about, I think is doing just as. I mean, keep in mind, Connor Barwin's always going against the left tackle, who is usually the better of the two tackles. Graham goes against the right tackle, which usually isn't better of the two. So it's been a team effort. I don't want to just say Brandon Graham's playing great, but it's been getting Benny Logan back last week was a big factor. I thought you bring a Vinnie Curry in, who again doesn't have a lot of sacks, but he's getting some hurries, and he's allowing Connor Barwin and Brandon Graham to get some rest, so they're not overused, so they're still fresh in the fourth quarter of games as well.
Mark Eckel with us right now from NJ.com. Mark, let's stay in the trenches. Just go to the offensive line. Kelce has not been good this year, but last week he did show up. Is this going to be the time where we start to see Jason Kelce go back to his good ways, or is that just 1 week that this guy still has something left in the tank?
I mean, I think you're going to see, depending on, again, the opposition, I think Jason plays better against a 4-3 team than he does a 3-4 team where he doesn't have that 350, 360-pound monster over him, because he's given, Jason's, I don't know what they list him at, but if he's 280, that's a lot. So when he has a guy, 75 to 80 pounds bigger than him over him, it's tough. Let's just be honest. And a 4-3, he doesn't have that most of the time, and he can do more things. Where Jason isn't, and again, he'll be the first to tell you, he's not playing as well as he did when he was a Pro Bowl center. But what people don't understand, there's more to playing center than just blocking a guy, blocking a defensive tackle. I mean, he has to get the line calls right. He's got a brand new rookie right tackle who he has to, keep in line. He has Brandon Brooks is a veteran, but a new guy to the team. That he has to, make sure he knows what's going on. He had a new guard for the last couple of weeks with Wisniewski filling in for Barber. And then most important of all, he's got a rookie quarterback that he has to take care of. So again, in one of my thoughts, if Jason Kelce has been a C- as a blocker this year, I think he's been an A+ in all those other categories that I just mentioned.
That's an interesting take. You don't have a lot of people that think that way. They just look at the individual matchups. Right. But you're exactly right, him being one of those leaders on the team. I want to get to one more thing before we move on to this week against the Seahawks, which is going to be a really tough task for the Eagles. I absolutely could not stand a few weeks ago when after the game, Nelson Aguilar had his rant. I thought it was ridiculous, and I for a player that's not that good, I don't want to hear him yap in his mouth like that. Now, this week we heard Dorial Green-Beckham open his mouth. He was more polite, Dorial Green-Beckham. He wasn't as obnoxious, but still, he's voicing his frustration with the player that's not that good from what I'm seeing on the field right now. What do you make out of the DGB comments?
I agree with you, and I'll be honest. I think it was worse.
Really?
A little bit worse than
wow.
Aguilar. Only because Aguilar was just saying, hey, Aguilar didn't, to me, Green-Beckham's comments were kind of a little negative toward Carson Wentz.
Yeah, you know what was odd about that, Mark? He made it seem like he was this 10-year veteran receiver.
Yeah.
He's actually younger than Carson Wentz. I know he's been in the league a year more longer, but he made it seem like this guy was a 10-year pro.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, to me, Aguilar's comments were definitely out of frustration.
I just can't stand Aguilar.
Well, I mean, you don't know him. I know
True.
him. He's not. I like him personally. He's having a terrible. He's not living up to his standard. I don't know what's wrong. I wish I did, and then I for him. But I didn't mind. I mean, his comments were bad. I'm not defending his comments, but I think they were more just He was frustrated with himself, with the fans, with his. I mean, he knows he's not playing well. He knows what he was supposed to be doing. He knows what he did in college, and he was frustrated, and he said some stupid things. And it's, and again, not right, not defending him. Green-Beckham took some subtle shots at the quarterback. No.
No, yeah, he did. He did. You're right on that aspect. He did.
We watched the film and we know where the ball should have gone, stuff like that. I mean, that's to me. I'm reading that he's saying Wentz made the wrong read.
He was trying to be transparent, and then he would back himself up. That's what he was doing. He was trying to say, okay, here's an issue, but then I'm going to say, okay, me and Carson were on the same page, though. You're right. It is very obnoxious. Both of these incidents were very obnoxious. It's like picking, which one's better.
And again, Beckham has done nothing in this league. He's been in the league 2 years. Yeah. Tennessee, the team that drafted him, gave him away.
For nothing, really.
I would make that trade, but you know what? Tennessee got the better of that trade.
Yeah, no, they did. It couldn't get much worse watching these receivers.
Not for nothing, and I don't know if you're aware of this or your listeners are aware of this. Last week, Tennessee, their left tackle, Taylor Lewin, was ejected from the game in the first quarter. Well, guess who went in and played tackle?
Dennis Kelly. And DeMarco Murray threw for a touchdown pass. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
And how many points did Tennessee score last week? 47?
Yeah, I think it was 42, so it was somewhere in the 40s.
Whatever it was in the 40s with Dennis Kelly playing tackle.
Huh. How about that?
I'm not saying I want Dennis Kelly out there 16 weeks. I'm saying Dennis Kelly has done more for Tennessee already than Dorial Green-Beckham has done for the Eagles.
That's why we have Mark Eckel on each and every week from NJ.com. All right, Mark, let's continue with these wide receivers. All week long, I've been trying to think of some reason how these receivers are going to have even a little bit success against the LOB, and I have not been able to do it. You've seen a lot more football than myself. Is there any way you could see this Eagles wide receivers having success this week?
Not a lot. Let's be honest. Not many teams have a lot of success against Seattle's defensive backs, so I don't expect Nelson Aguilar, Dorial Green-Beckham, two guys that we just criticized, coming out and having big games. I think for the Eagles offense is going to have to do what they did last week against Atlanta, run the ball well. Zach Ertz is going to have to catch. He has to be healthy, which he says he is. Is going to have to catch 8 balls, for whatever many yards. Darren Sproles is going to have to be a weapon out of the backfield, catching whatever many passes. And then Jordan Matthews is going to have to catch a couple, and maybe we see your boy Bryce Treggs reemerge for a long week. He had that big catch against the Giants, and then I don't think he was on the field against the Falcons.
I love how you say he's my boy.
Well, he was your boy. You were texting me during the game about him and stuff. I thought he was your boy.
No, I just loved your reaction to him, because that was one of the greatest reactions I've ever heard on the radio, when you just go, "Nah, he's going to do nothing." I just thought it was great.
No, I don't know. He has his, I just didn't expect him. He had a nice play against the Giants. I just didn't think he was going to be much of, that was a good play. I thought the Giants were going to. I didn't think the Giants were going to be so surprised by him after everybody talked about him all week. But I don't see this as a high-scoring game. You?
I had 27-17.
Well, that's way higher than I do.
Some late scoring, though. A lot of that late scoring. I think this could be close in the first half, and then in the second half it could run away. If this thing gets ugly early, that's going to be a big problem for the Eagles, because you can't let this Seattle team get more than a 7-point lead. I saw them in New England last week. I was at the game. But the point that you made, I think you're exactly right. They got to find a way to establish a run game, because if Seattle takes away their run game, and I know I love Carson Wentz, we talked about this before, but if he has to throw 30, 35 times this week with those wide receivers, it's going to be a long day for the Eagles.
Oh, absolutely. I wrote a story earlier this week saying, I had the stats. When the Eagles run the ball for more than 100 yards, they're, I think 5-1 or whatever they are. And when they run for less, then they're obviously 0-3. And then they take it further. When they run the ball 30 or more times, I think they're 4-0. And when they run it less than 25 times, they're 0-4. So there's something, and again, those numbers could be skewed, because sometimes when you're winning, then you run, obviously, stuff like that. But I think the point is, this Eagles team is not going to win a lot of games with their passing attack. This isn't Air Peterson. It's a team that needs to be methodical. They need to do that. game-winning drive last week, or what proved to be the game-winning drive against the Falcons after Atlanta took a 15-13 lead. They went, 80-some yards, 8 plays. They did get 2 penalties, which helped. The one was, the pass interference. That was a wide receiver didn't touch the ball on that drive. You don't see that too often in the NFL, where a team goes 80 yards, 10 plays, and they don't get anything out of their wide receivers. It was all Sproles, Ertz, and Matthews on the entire drive.
Man, that's what they're going to need, because that's where their best talent is, on the offensive side of the ball. Let's shift gears as Mark Eckel joins us from NJ.com on the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920, the Jersey, and get to the defense. This is the defensive line that should have a lot of success against the Seahawks offensive line, even though they did look good last week, but the Pats don't have that good of a pass rush. But this is Seahawks offensive line, a lot of youth on that offensive line. Do you see the Eagles having a lot of success defensively this week against Seattle's offense?
Yeah, I do. That's what I was saying before. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think there's going to be an old-fashioned slugfest, which I don't mind. I don't need 38-35 to be happy. I like watching good defenses. So yeah, I don't see Seattle moving the ball up and down. I think Russell Wilson will give them some problems because of his mobility, and he looks healthy again now. So he's different than Matt Ryan or Sam Bradford or some of the other quarterbacks that the Eagles have had success against by getting pressure. He's not going to go down as easily. He'll avoid some pressure. They'll roll him out more. But with that said, I still don't see Seattle marching the ball up and down the field scoring, a lot of points. I think it's going to come down to a big play here, a big play there, maybe a turnover. Special teams will, as always, be a factor, and nobody has better special teams than the Eagles right now. Although Seattle's aren't bad.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of those 3-year extensions today, 3 of them for the Eagles. Just since you bring up special teams, I'll ask you it here. Dave Phipp, one of the best special team coordinators in the game, how far away do you think he is from getting a potential crack at a head coaching job? Because I've been very impressed with him in the last few years watching Eagles football.
He's a great special teams coach. To be a head coach, he doesn't. I don't know how to say this without. He's great. I thought John Harbaugh, who I was very close with when he was an assistant with the Eagles, and we still keep in touch. And he's the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens now, obviously. I saw it in him. I really did. I saw the personality, the charisma. He was a great special teams coach who I thought would be a head coach. But I thought on the college level. Matter of fact, he thought on the college level too, like his brother. But Phipp, he's a great coach, great schemer, puts together great packages. He doesn't have that same charisma and personality that Harbaugh had, or that a lot of assistant coaches that I've dealt with have. Now, I don't know if that would hold. I don't want to hold that against him, because if you're good, you're good. But when you're interviewing for a job, and I think Phipp will get interviews for certain jobs because of his success, I don't think he's going to knock the guy over in the interview. I just don't. He's very, again, maybe it's just with us. Maybe there's another side of him that I don't know. But I've been around him now for 4 years, I guess. Very quiet, very, very. Almost, shy to the play grade. And again, maybe that's the side he only lets out to the media. Maybe in meeting, maybe he's not like that. Maybe there is a side to him that is very charismatic. I just haven't seen it. I did see it, like I said. I did see it with Harbaugh, who was very, you could just tell this guy's got a future, But Phipp, I can't say enough. Again, it's almost like you read what I just wrote for tomorrow morning. I mentioned that, the Eagles did, as you mentioned, gave extensions to Chris Maridos last night, and then John Dornbos this morning, and Donnie Jones this afternoon, 3 of their key special teams players. I said the guy that they should go give an extension to now is their boss, Dave Phipp, because he's the best. He's the best in the business right now, and he should be paid like it.
Man, it's an interesting point. The only reason I brought it up is just because you don't hear his name a lot for the head coaching job, and just giving us that perspective, maybe him not being that vocal is a reason. Yeah, you may be right.
Has anyone gone from? Because even Harbaugh had to go. He went and coached the secondary for a year or two before he became head.
Not off the top of my head. I'm sure there's been someone in the history of the league, but not off the top of my head that I could think
recently.
No,
not recently. Because I remember again, like I said, Harbaugh and I were friendly. And I remember him saying when he was a special teams coach, he felt he needed to show he could do something else before he could become a head coach. And he was right. He coached the D-backs, and next thing you know, the Ravens hired him, and he became a very good head coach, won a Super Bowl.
All right, I'm going 27-17. You think it's going to be more low scoring. I'm going to say C.J. Prosise has 100 total yards in this game, a mixture on the ground and then also through the air. Give me a breakout player and then your prediction, the final score for this weekend.
Prosise was one of my favorite players in last year's draft, by the way. I loved him coming. I'm not Notre Dame. I'm not like I'm a big Notre Dame guy. But I just loved him. I thought he was a great player, and I thought it was a great pick by Seattle. I'm picking low. I'm going 17-13 Seattle, and I think Russell Wilson. And that's an easy one, but I think he finds a way to come up with that. When I said it's going to come down to a big play here or there, I think he'll provide the big play either with his arm or with his legs, and that'll be the difference in the game.
Let me ask you this before we let you run. Brian Dawkins, semifinalist for the Hall of Fame. I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but you know how bizarre the Hall of Fames in all sports are with this type of stuff. Does he get in on the first try?
Does he? I mean, again, I'm very prejudiced here, so I would say yes, but I just I look around and I see that there's very few safeties in the Hall of Fame. Why? I don't know, but there just isn't. I don't know. I hope so. I don't know. I can't read. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get a lot of people mad. Zach, do you mind if I get a lot of people mad?
Yeah, go ahead.
Writer, and I'm a writer. Writers shouldn't vote for Hall of Fames.
Oh, you know what? That's actually an interesting take because I get into
or football.
Exactly. I get into more of this argument with baseball. I'm not against the writers voting for the Hall of Fame, but I do believe there should be a diversification of the vote. I've said this numerous times with the Baseball Hall of Fame that it should be the writers. They should also break it up with the team broadcasters. Maybe even have the players. That's my formula.
Broadcast. No, scouts. Scouts and general managers should be the people voting.
Okay, but then how do you not let it be too biased? Because if you have a guy, let's say you have an Eagles scout, he's clearly going to go for Dawkins.
Yeah, but scouts, I don't know any. I know a lot of scouts, and I don't know anyone who's only worked for one team his whole career. Most of them have worked for half the league. They bounce around more than a jelly bean. I mean, they're all over. Scouts are all over the place. That's why I say scouts. They know. I mean, writers are more prejudiced than scouts.
Yeah.
Writers only cover one team.
Yeah. Also look at Terrell Owens. Look at Terrell Owens. Guy doesn't talk, and then he gets, not in the Hall of Fame on the first try, which was a joke, too.
All right. That's because some writers don't like them. Writers are way too biased. I'm a writer. I try not to be. And I mean that. I'm not going to lie to you. There are guys I like a lot.
Mark, you still there? I think we lost Mark Eckel. All right, that's fine. Good stuff out of Mark Eckel. I don't know what happened there. Maybe some writer tapped into our system and knocked Mark Eckel off, but always fun to talk to Mark Eckel. All right, time right now is 5:40. This is the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920 The Jersey. We'll take our final break of the day, and when we get back, baby, it's time for the home stretch. More of the Zach Gelb Show on Fox Sports 920 The Jersey.